Yeah. And I mentioned it last time. It's kind of hard to wrap your brain around it because you wouldn't change just a simple title like that. You know, if you have a blog, if you're using WordPress, Squarespace, whatever, you would just go in, delete, and type it in. But I'm telling you, you just got to think through the process. If you can wrap your mind about targeting an area, defining what you want to change, and then what it changes into once it's activated, that's the process. That's where your brain needs to be going. So, working on these baby steps, more data adjustment, basic array methods, that's what we want to talk through. So, again, it doesn't make a lot of sense because your title wouldn't ever be worded this way, but I'm just calling it a title just so we can make a little bit of sense of things. Let's say we have an array. An array is the set of data right here, the fighting code. That's what our array is that we're messing with. And the very common basic array methods what we want to talk about are .push, .unshift, .pop, and .shift. And .push, that's going to add something to the end. And this is great learning in real time. I didn't fully flesh out these notes. If I do title array .push, and let's say the fighting code nonsensical. Okay. So we see that nothing's logged in the console because we didn't set that designation. So what we have to do, console.log. Now I'm going to wrap my text around there. Let's see what we get. For, oh, that's right. I did this wrong. Let's rewind. So first, we're practicing this push idea. So push, we're going to add something to the end of this array, the set of data. So what I want to push in, what I want to include is this word nonsensical. In theory, that should give us the fighting code nonsensical. How do I check that? I have to check this variable title array. How do we get that? Console.log title array. Yep. And just as I was mentioning, the fighting code nonsensical. Again, that's not how you would make a regular title in a blog or anything like that. But when we're practicing this, when we're just thinking about how to adjust the data within that set, the fighting code push, that's how we add something to the very end. Okay. Unshift. This is how we add something to the beginning. So if I say title array dot unshift, what could I want to add to the beginning? Maybe I say it's. I do console.log title array. What do we get here? It's the fighting code, just like I mentioned. We got that down pat. So .pop. This is where we want to remove something at the end. So in that data sequence, let's just so we can keep seeing that. The fighting code. We remove something at the end. Code is at the end. So let's say we want to make it really janky English. Now our data is just going to be the fighting. That's going to look like title array dot pop. And then, let me think about this. Do we even need to input the word? Because I think pop should automatically take care of the thing at the end. Let's see what happens when we try that out. Yep. No? Yes. We're right. We did it. Instead of the fighting code, the fight. And finally, title array.shift. This is how we remove the word at the beginning, so it's just going to become fighting code. fighting code. We can see in the bottom right here. That's what it says. So it's really not that hard. Like this part right here, I think most people probably pick it up even faster than my explanation here. And that is something that you should feel good about. But one part that's like really hard with traversing code is this beginner step to the intermediate or upper intermediate. It's a very, very steep climb because what I'm trying to do with my app, the slot machine sorter for what game to stream and like what rule set to play by, you're dealing with a much more complicated array, a nested array. So the game tiers that I'm dealing with, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and what's in there. And I want to make that more complicated because depending on what tier these games are in, they have certain amounts of rules. Trying to piece it all together is really, really tough. Like I've only succeeded in just having like one tier of games and randomly picking from that one. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't think this push, unshift, pop, shift stuff is actually going to come into play with this. We're dealing with more math. Math is like the freaking bane of my existence. But there we go. If anything, you should be feeling pretty good about basic array methods. And now, time for gaming.